Hey there, it's Kathy with Be Creative with Kathy, and as promised, it's Friday, and so I have another Christmas card for you. And I've been wanting to show you that how easy Christmas cards could be from that Playful Penguin Playmates. Let me make sure I got it right. Penguin Playmates Designer Series Paper. Penguin Playmates Designer Series Paper. Anyway, so that's one of the free Designer Series paper that's in the mini catalog, or the celebration catalog. Come on, I gotta get my back straight. So you know the celebration ends. We only have a little over a week left, or maybe a little less than a week left, until celebration is over. And celebration is a reward, and you get free items when you place a $50 order here in the US. I think it's $60 in Canada, but I'm in the US, so that's what I know. And so there's a Designer Series paper, like I said, that matches the Penguin bundle. And this one, Designer Series matches the Deer bundle. And then there's some stamp sets in there, and there's some dies in there and other stuff. But then if you host or get a big order up together, you can also get this free stamp set, which is a great stamp set. And if you join Stampin' Up! Or become a demonstrator, whether it's for the discount or to start your own business, they have all these bundles that you can get for free, and those are on page 19 of the brochure. So celebration is a really good thing. Lots of free stuff. You might want to check that out. And so the bundles that I was talking about are in the mini catalog. Now the mini catalog goes till the end of December, but you don't want to miss out on the paper that goes with it. So let me show you the paper. This is called the Penguin Playmates, like I just said. It's really cute paper. Look at all of this. This is just the fun one side, and then the other side, see if I can get it here, is just like patterns you could use anytime. For some reason they remind me of birthday patterns. Maybe not the trees as much as the other stuff, but it's really, really great paper. So let me show you what I came up with. Like I said, I wanted to make some Christmas cards with the Designer Series paper, and the first card I came up with looked like this, and now I thought that is a stinking cute card, although I decided to make this one into a birthday one. But anyway, I had to fussy cut all these little animals, and I thought if I'm gonna do a bunch of cards, I can't fussy cut a bunch of animals, so I had to simplify it a little bit, and that's where I came up with this card. Now, I don't know if you know me very well, but I get kind of punch happy at Christmas time because I think punches are fast and simple. So let me show you the stamp set that goes with the Designer Series paper. The stamp set looks like this. It's called the Penguin Place. It has a coordinating punch that looks like this. Now we're going to use the punch today, but we're not going to use the stamp set because I love the sentiments in this Peaceful Deer. And you can see that this Christmas right here fits perfect right here on this card. So we're going to use this stamp set. Now, this stamp set has a coordinating punch, looks like this, but we're not going to use the punch today. We're only going to use the stamp set. And both of those bundles are in the mini catalog, sometimes called the holiday catalog. If someone says the holiday catalog, they're probably talking about the winter mini catalog that has a bunch of, well, holiday stuff in it. Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, la-di-da. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Well, and last thing, if I forget to tell you the measurements, you can always go to my blog, becreativewithkathy.com, and all my measurements will be there. Just give me a few minutes after I post my Facebook Live here. I put it on YouTube, and then I put it on my blog with all the measurements. Okay, so we're going to start. Let me show you some of the pieces of paper that we're going to use. We're going to start with a card base. This is Misty Moonlight. It's 8.5 by 5.5, and I've scored it at 4 1/4, just in half. And I'm going to just take my bone folder and get a nice crisp fold right there. Then I have two pieces of that Designer Series paper. This one is 2.5 inches by 5 1/4, and this is 1.5 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to just take my tape runner and put that right here at the top. And I'm going to make sure I have the same border on these three sides up here. Looks like that. And so you can imagine how many cards you're going to get out of this Designer Series paper when you only use a little bit of each one. So then down here, this 1.5 inch strip, I'm going to just do the same thing at the bottom. I'm not going to worry about the border, or if they meet up here, they should, but you never know. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But we're going to cover it up with that punch of trees. So I'm going to lay it down and get a nice, that looks pretty good, like that. Okay, now let me explain to you what I mean by punch happy. First of all, we're going to take this bordered trees. I think that's what this is called. This is from the annual catalog. It's with the, oh, and I don't have that stamp set with me, but it's with the Elegant Evergreen Elegance bundle. And I have fallen in love with this punch. So let me open it up here. You just take your cardstock and you put it in here. Now I'm going to start in the center and work my way out. I don't think it matters. You could start at the edge and work your way over, but for some reason I like to start sometimes in the, it doesn't matter. We're just going to punch that. And then you just slide your cardstock over so that these trees line up with that little image right there, making sure that this side that still has the bottom part is all the way in the punch. But if these are lined up, you just go like that, and then they're stuck in there because I got a few little, I was off just a little bit. Let me pluck those out of there. There we go. Put this back in there. And now I'm going to line up my little trees over here. And punch again. And then you have that cute little row of trees without this. Let me get rid of this right here. There we go. Our cute little row of trees that's going to cover up that seam between the two. So I want to do the same thing again for the inside. Let me get rid of all this stuff underneath it. I'm going to do it again and put just a strip for decoration on the inside of my card. Line up those trees, punch again, slide it this way, line up those trees again. And you sometimes, because some of the little trees look like they fit, but they actually don't, so make sure your trees line up just right. Make sure you have it in the right place. And then we have another little row of trees. Okay, so let's go ahead and put those down. I'm going to just take my liquid glue, and my dimensionals, and just put a little bit of glue on this strip of trees. And then I'm going to bring in my silicone mat, just so I don't get any glue on my work surface. Lay that down just like that. There we go. So now we have that strip of trees that hides that between the design, that space between the designer series paper. Okay, so another punch I'm going to bring in, and I believe this is called the Everyday Label Punch, and I'm going to just punch one with some Misty Moonlight here. That's going to be the background behind our penguin. And then again, I think I've shown you these before. These are those delicate snowflakes, although really they're called wonderful snowflakes, but they're very delicate. And I'm going to take one of those. We'll need one of those. And then with that designer series paper here, now I want just this penguin right here. And if you take your punch and put your punch in there, you'll see that I'm going to punch also and get some of this bear's head. Now I'm going to save that bear just in case I want to fussy cut him and make different cards with him. So I'm going to just take my penguin here and kind of go really close and only cut him out, making sure that I don't ruin those other images. There we go. So now I just have the penguin, and I could still fussy cut my fox or my bears out. And then I'm going to just take a Post-it note. Now I found these little strips of Post-it note that work really well, and I'm going to put it on the bottom of my penguin here like this, because now I have a handle to put it into my punch here. And then it's easy, well, maybe not easy, but you can get it into your punch and then punch out. Get my little penguin in there. There we go. Just right, and then you can just punch out your penguin, and you have a handle there for that little piece of designer series paper. I'm going to take that post-it note off the back. Although I wouldn't have to, it's not like you can see it, but I think I know it's there and it's going to bother me. Okay, let's go ahead and put this together. I'm going to take and put some liquid glue on the back of just the inside of my snowflake and some dimensionals that I threw around earlier on here. Let me get one. There's more on here. And on my little penguin, take my snowflake and I'm going to put it this way on my little punched piece there. And then take those dimensional back off and put my little penguin right there on my snowflake. Look how cute that is. Let's just go ahead and put a couple dimensionals on the back of that. There we go. And then just set this right here over those little trees for a focal point. Cute, right? Okay, so then let's do some stamping and punching kind of at the same time. I have my little trees here for the inside, and I have a piece of basic white for the inside. Now this is just your regular 5 1/4 by 4 that's going to go a nice layer on the inside. And then I have a strip here, and this is just a 1/2 inch paper. So when you cut your paper down for the inside, you have a lot of these strips here that are left over, and I'm going to stamp on those. But before I stamp on this strip, I'm going to take my lovely label. I think it's a pick a punch. Darn, I should look this one up. Lovely label, lovely, I don't know, this punch here. Hope you can see that. And it goes with the lovely labels stamp set. So I'm thinking that's what the punch is called, but I should have checked that out. Anyway, and I'm going to make sure that it lines up straight back here so it's even on both sides. And I'm going to punch that out. Now I'm going to save that little piece right there, because then with some Misty Moonlight ink and that Merry Christmas from the Deer stamp set, I'm going to ink up Merry Christmas. And you know me, I like to practice one time. Let me get a scratch paper here and just practice. Looks pretty good. So now I know where the end of my punch is, and I'm going to stamp it right here. Hopefully it's straight. And hold that down, let that ink sink in. There we go. Now with this little piece that I saved, I'm going to lay this down kind of like a template so I know where I want to cut my paper. And then with just a pencil, I'm going to draw the edge right there. So I know that that's where I want to cut my paper. When I punch it, it's going to be a perfect size on my label. Cut that there, and then put that back in the punch. Make sure it's all the way in and lined up here again. And then punch that. And now look, we have that perfect size label with our Merry Christmas centered just right. Okay, now let's stamp on the inside. For the inside, I just have a stamp that says, "Sending love and peace this season." And it's kind of a small stamp, but once we put those trees at the bottom, it's going to fill it in nicely. Let me practice once. Okay, looks pretty good. Stamp that right there. Let that ink sink in. There we go. And then on the inside, I'm going to put those little trees down. Let's make sure I have the, yep, that's the right side. Make sure you have the right side from the punch start down. A little bit of glue here. And lay that down there for the inside. And then I'm going to just take my paper snips and trim that the same length as my cardstock, as my white. And then a little bit of snail or tape runner on the back of that. Set that on the inside. Look how cute that row of trees makes that inside look. It doesn't look bare at all. Like that. And then a couple dimensionals on the back of our label. Well, get those dimensional back off. There we go. And then take that, make sure it's not upside down, and lay that right there. So there you go. There you have a really simple Christmas card using that Designer Series paper that's free in the Celebration catalog. So if you have any questions regarding Celebration or the mini catalog, if you want to join Stampin' Up, you let me know. I'd love to have you as part of our team. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you back here on Monday. Bye-bye.